What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dan Kathman, and today I'm going to talk about how to be creative on a regular basis. So this is one simple idea that'll help you be creative on a regular basis. A lot of books, a lot of people wonder, how do you be creative on such a regular basis? How do you do it, Dan? How do you come up with all these ideas for videos? How? And photos and all the things you do. People think that it's just like some random, the stars aligned and he was just born that way. And you're just so talented and it just must be the way that you are. Just the way you are. You were raised a certain way and you were brought up a certain way and you just got these God-given talents and you just think differently than the rest of us. There's just something about you. You're just gifted. I don't understand it. How? There's a very simple solution to being creative on a regular basis. Now, let me just say, there are other ways to be creative. There's tons of ways to be creative. And a lot of times creative people are just creative off the cuff. I'm very creative off the cuff. That means improv, I can just sometimes turn it on and come up with an idea pretty quickly. Now that's because I've done this for a very long time. I've been making videos since I was 7 years old, been performing since I was a kid. This is just kind of comes to me, and maybe I was born with certain things that other people weren't sure. But that doesn't give you the excuse for how you actually do it on a regular basis. How do you create on a regular basis? Now, video creators, listen up. But specifically, video creators, YouTubers, TikTokers, people coming up with video ideas and writers, this is what we do as a professional. Again, there's many ways to do it, but this is what professionals do. The big writers, this is what they do. Creators, this is what they do. Have I strung this out long enough? Block out time. That's it. That's simple. Block out time in your day to be creative. Make it like your job. Unfortunately, it's work. That's what it is. It's going to require you to work and to be consistent at your work. So just like going to a job or doing whatever you do for money, if you don't go, you're not going to get paid. Same concept. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to get creative. You're not going to get that out of it. So what some of the biggest creators and biggest writers do is they block out time. Stephen King, James Patterson, R.L. Stine, to name a few writers who block out 4 hours a day in the morning to write. That's it. But that's it, right? Then they're done. They block out those 4 hours and then they're done. Sometimes they do revisions or whatever at night, but that's their day. That's their work day, but they do it every day. Same thing with creators. King Batch, Mr. Beast even said it in one of his videos. How does he come up with all these ideas? He spends an hour a day coming up with video ideas. Just an hour a day coming up with video ideas. It's amazing what you can do and what you're willing to do when you have the idea. It's like when you have a script. It's like, well, I gotta make the movie. I got the script, but if you don't got a script, then it's just an idea. Then it's just But for some like YouTube and other platforms online, all you really need is the idea. If you just have the title, you're like, oh, I know what to do. Boom. And you could just do it. Now you could go more in depth and in planning and depending on what it is, but you could potentially be very creative in that space with just that idea. Oh, no. It's like improv. It's like, oh, okay, I got this idea. Now I know. Especially when it's something that you know or something that you like. But if you just spend that hour a day, just like working out, it's long repetition. But I mean, honestly, just sit there. What I do is I get my little pad and I would suggest a pen and paper because you're not distracted by your phone or computer and everything going on. But just set a timer on your phone. Boop, 60 minutes, 1 hour, set it. And now you'll be so tempted as soon as you set I did it today. I did it this morning. As soon as I set that timer, I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta clean that corner. You wanna do anything but this. Hit pause, go to the bathroom, come back, go. And just sit there and stare at this blank page and just think. You wanna quit. You wanna be like, I can't come up with anything that's done. Timer's not done yet. Keep sitting. Eventually, not long, you'll write something down. Anything goes, whatever it is, write it down. This is the time where you can any idea that comes up, you should write it down. Either way, don't edit yourself in the idea stage. In the idea stage, there is no rules. No one's gonna be offended. No one's going to hate on you. No one's gonna think that's stupid. That is not allowed. Now, if you've ever been in a writer's room before, I've been in a few, and this is what you should do. The rules should be that everyone in there feels very comfortable comfortable with each other, that they can say anything. Because when you start, you know, people start side-eyeing you and thinking, oh, whatever, you know, that's offensive. In the writer's room, when the door's closed and you're coming up with the idea, nothing's offensive. You have to let everybody be completely open, even with the craziest, stupidest idea, because that is where real creativity will come from, because you don't know what they'll think or what that'll bring up with them, or if that's actually maybe a really good idea, but if they did it, or if you did it with that person, or hey, that's a really good idea, I'm gonna pay it back there. But then what it does is it creates this comfort level of like, I can say anything. And that's when your mind just explodes with ideas, because you feel very safe. And that is what you call writing with the door closed. So the door's closed right now. When the door's closed, Stephen King talks about this in his book On Writing. That means it's just you. So if you're with a group, it's just y'all. Like no outside opinions. You're not thinking about what the world will think of it, whether it'll work. All you're thinking of is just ideas, and you're letting your mind go. Bah, 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 bah. And then in the second draft, then you write with the door open, or when you're going to make the video, or when you're taking these bullet points and you're going to decide on which video am I actually going to make, or outline and script. Now you're writing and you're thinking with the door open. Now you're thinking about, now would this be offensive to people? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Would this actually work? Can I do this? Is this going to be expensive? What is it going to require? So I think one thing that we do really, especially people who've been making videos for a long time, or YouTubers and stuff like that, is that we start thinking about what we did in the past. And we're like, oh wait, I can't do that. That's not really my brand. That's not really my channel. Like we get really confined in the own boxes that we make. We come up with these like, this is what I have to do. It can be very much feeling like you're getting closed in, and that's what causes a lot of people to burn out and not go the distance. This is a lifestyle. What I'm talking about is like, this is like forever. Like we're gonna create forever. Okay, so what that means is there are no bad ideas. And that means that maybe you might do a video that you've never done before. I started to come up with different video ideas and ones that I have never talked about or done in my life. But I was like, and some of them I thought were stupid. It's completely dumb, but I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna write that down. I'll give you an example of a stupid idea. This is probably a stupid idea, but maybe not. How to tie a tie. That sounds stupid. I was like, I almost made myself not write it down. Like, that's stupid, not gonna write that down. But then I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna write it down because, true story, because in my life, I've had countless friends, guys, men, come up to me in formal situations where we're at a dance, or we're at a wedding, or we're at somewhere, and we're at a hotel, and we're getting ready or whatever, and they're like, Dan, can you tie my tie? Tons of guys don't know how to tie the tie. I don't know how to tie like all these ties. I don't know like how to do like these like named the Windsor tie. I don't know how to do. I know how to tie a tie, and they for some reason always came to me. Probably because I had a tie on and it was look good. No, but they came to me and I don't know why, but I was like, okay, cool. Like, and I did it for them, and several times this happened in my life. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's worth writing down. Maybe stupid, but you know, maybe later on I look at it and I'm like, you know, that might make a really good like TikTok or Instagram Reels short video, and I can make it really maybe entertaining. Maybe that could be something in a sketch, or maybe this could be a whole how-to by itself, and it's so dumb, but it's so valuable because no guy wants to ask how to tie a tie. You know, so you just let yourself write ideas. Other examples are about relationships. I don't talk about relationships. I don't give advice. First of all, I don't really give advice. This is even new today because I came up with the idea today. I don't really give advice on my videos, but I'm open to expanding and trying new things and seeing what works and what doesn't. And you got to be willing to do that as a creator, as an artist, as a person who's making things. You just got to be willing to create and try and not be so afraid of what is everyone going to think? Like, who cares? Do it because it makes you happy. This is making me, I'm getting high from this right now. This is great. This is great energy. I love this. Like, I'm talking about the arts and talking about creating. This is fantastic. I've never done this before. It's great. So let yourself be open to it. But like relationships, really? I'll give you a couple different ideas, but let me just tell you, this was today's video ideas. I did it for an hour, like I told you, set my timer, and I haven't done it in a while. Okay, it's been Christmas and stuff, and I knew that one thing that I hadn't done is tell people like, what is the video right out the gate? You know, what's the idea? Like, how can I start this off? And I did it recently with a video where I basically asked a question to start the video off, and then I answered it and kind of told a story, and it was kind of funny. And people interacted with it a lot. I'm like, interesting. So I went on that today, and I started coming up with like different things that I could say at the top, basically the title, but at the top of the video, and then see what happens. So I started coming up with these like basically one sentence questions that was a whole video idea. So here's one about relationships that I've, again, never talked about relationships in my life, except in stand-up comedy, but never seriously. Maybe it's funny. Maybe it's stand-up. See, I haven't even thought about that yet until just now. Here's actually a statement. What women want that most men don't get. What women want that most men don't get. That's compelling. I might click that video. Even if it's like if someone doesn't know what they're talking about, I'm interested in like what someone has to say about that topic. Same thing like here. Here's a very compelling, again, this was just an idea and I almost made myself not write it, but it was so compelling that I was like, I have to write this down. This is too good of a title. This is too good. What men care about more than sex. That's a great opening. You're gonna watch what I have to say next. You have no choice but to watch it. You're like, nope, I gotta see the answer. I don't care. Again, things that I wouldn't normally write down that I wrote down. Try things. Try things out even when you think you have it figured out, or even when you think you've been doing it for a long time and you got it down. I think having a niche is great. I think having a niche or a niche is a really great thing to do, but what it's done for me is it has crippled me. It's crippled me because I don't do different things because I feel like I can't. It's like, I've already established myself as a comedian. It's a comedy page. I can't do this. That's tough. That's tough as a creative person to say you can't do things that you might be really good at or might be what sets you apart and what makes you the internet star that you may want to be and may not want to be, but it may just happen because there's people like, oh shit, like this video particularly, I've never done one like this before, but I just felt compelled to do it. So follow that. And especially when you're writing ideas, let it go. Just write it down because you might find out like all of these. So for 60 minutes, I came up with 30 ideas, 30 video ideas, 30 today. That's a month of daily videos. Some of them I may not do, how to tie a tie, I may not do, but I've talked about it so much now, I might do it. And again, that's 30 video ideas. Ideas that not only are really possibly great ideas, but also have expanded my mind as a creator and completely maybe changed my genre, but may be great. And maybe I kind of can wove them together. Who knows? But this is what blocking out time does. This is what setting time to be creative does, is allows you to be creative. Because a lot of times we don't feel like we can. We feel like we gotta work. We feel like we gotta, I gotta make money, I gotta do this. It may seem like a hindrance to kind of make creative work kind of like a job. It is a job. It's gonna be a job no matter what you do, okay? But whether or not you like doing it, there's a reason why jobs work, because you have to put in the work to have progress. That's the only way that it works. Otherwise, no one comes to work, nothing gets done, no one does anything, nothing happens. There's no sales, there's no business. They go out of business. There's a reason why it works, because you gotta work. You gotta work to get in shape. You gotta work to build a business. You gotta work to be creative. It's counterintuitive, I know. That's why I'm making this whole video about it. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can do this. There's a lot of ways you can be creative. And a lot of times it does just come out of the thin air. And it's just like, boom. And it's just like, wow, great idea. Dali held the spoon when he took naps and dropped it and it fell into the bowl and it made a loud noise and he woke up with these crazy visions and crazy ideas and then he started painting them. There's a lot of ways you can be creative and a lot of them do come, especially when you start doing this on the regular, you'll just do it. That's actually something about stand-up comedy that I learned early on. I did stand-up comedy from about 18 to 23, 24. Thought about getting back into it recently. We'll see. One of the things that you learn when you're writing stand-up comedy is you think it's hard at first, right? It's super hard to come up with material. And it is hard to come up with material. But when you come up with material on a regular basis every single day, just like this, you block out time to write, to come up with material. You'll come up with something. It gets into your brain, gets into your being. And after a while, you just start thinking that way. Then everything's a video idea. Then everything's a stand-up bit. Then everything, you see things, you're out and about, and you see things you wouldn't normally see. You all of a sudden, you're just like, oh my gosh. And that's when it starts kind of coming out of nowhere or anywhere, really. But it takes that practice in your brain to get there so you can identify and see those things. And so your brain can come up with ideas on a regular basis because it already is. So it kind of just then learns how to do it. This isn't necessarily a forever thing. Yes, it is. But as far as like the video ideas, you may come up with 1,000 if you do this for a year. That's like too many. But I think you continually break it down and make it better. And maybe you're writing scripts now, maybe you're doing something different and you're always evolving and changing. And so you write some off. And I think it's a good practice to get in. But that is the number one thing how you can be creative the most often is to plan for it. Plan to be creative. That's how professionals do it. And if you want to do this on a regular, then I think that's how you got to do it too. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Dan Kathman. Please like, subscribe, and let me know what you thought about this video because it's something different that I've never done before and something that I don't really do, but I give it a shot. Just give it a shot, and I implore you to give it a shot too. And just be open and just map out just an hour. Just try an hour. sitting down and coming up with ideas. That's it. All right. See ya.